announced that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because Bitcoin is sitting just under its all-time high, and the setups for altcoins are looking especially powerful and juicy. It's just a matter of time. They are not confirmed yet, but I'm going to show you what is piling up here, what is in the pipeline, so to say, for the next couple of weeks and months. And this is going to be a nice way back here after almost 10 days of holidays. So make sure to stay tuned all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. Really nice what we see here from Bitcoin over the last week or so. We have almost 10% pump, 9.2% pump, and we are with the weekly, with the daily candle, way above where we have closed any other daily candle. So it seems that we are going here to new highs, and there's also other evidence for that. But let's first look at the weekly. So here, weekly wise, we also see it that clearly our weekly close was a very bullish one, and we did form another week directly, basically in the last hours, to the upside here. So Bitcoin really wants to go, and our indicators are looking fairly smooth here for the continuation. So here we have a continuation of now 5 green candles on the monthly. 20 days to go still on this month, but we see really 5 green candles in a row until now. And our indicators are looking quite okay, right? But we need to be very careful now, because the TSI on this momentum is almost there on this trend line. If we draw the trend line, we are almost there. So TSI wise, we might be in top territory this or next month if we continue like this, if we don't get this mega correction here, right? So TSI wise, we still have a blip to go, and this is a monthly TSI, so every blip is also a month long. So we need to wait for this month to end, and then there is probably space for another green month. But we need to be really careful here, in my opinion. Long story short, this is the setup, right? We did have the big fat inverse head and shoulders here, right? We did break out, we did retest, we did continue as we thought, and now we have this let's say this slower or lower flag pattern here that should bring us to 135k roughly, which is where we have locked in our Bitcoin top target way back. I know that there are other targets out there, and I would be very happy for that, but I'm going to go with my very conservative target for now. yeah, and that is where we are, right? And why are we excited here? I mean, we are right now at 122,000 Bitcoin, almost all-time high, just 1% under the all-time high. So maybe it's even possible that we break the all-time high today again, put in a new all-time high. Yeah, that is very likely, and reasons for that. A couple of reasons here. One reason is the market is looking very excited towards mid-September, towards rate cuts. It would be interesting to see what happens if Bitcoin tops out in September. I'm not saying it is, right? But if it tops out in September, and then there is rate cuts, something like that, right? Now, the market is predicting a 25% cut with an almost 90% chance right now, based on what we have right now. We will have some economic data coming in, I think here. If we go on the daily on TradingView, you can check this out. We will have tomorrow the core inflation rate year over year, inflation rate month over month, core inflation rate month over month, and the inflation rate year over year. So all this inflation data is coming in at 2:30 Central European time, it seems. I'm not sure. That would put it probably at somewhere at 9 or 8 in the morning in the US. So let's expect some volatility here, right? And then also an adjustment on this, depending on how this comes in, an adjustment to the up or downside on this CME watch tool. So yeah, that is what we have to expect here for the next day, say tomorrow. Now the week has opened fairly great. Quick thank to all my rare hodlers and a look at the chat. So I am welcoming Troy Paris here. Let's go, feel that hype. Absolutely. We have G Money in the house. How are you doing, man? GM Coffee, Sub Boys, Pro Legendaries also here, and we do have Bodo, GM all. Good to see you all the rare hodlers, but also everyone else. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button if you enjoy this type of morning coffee streams, even though it's not morning for you, maybe where you are on all over the world. We have Divine the Sing in the house. We have Dark Matter Dan here. We have MKate Vibe. We are going to look at MKate also today because MKate is in our spotlight. What do we say? MKate looking primed, parabolic run incoming. Let's see. Patrick Bultman, good morning to you as well. Oh, by the way, Patrick, you are always with this other account, but you are also one of the rare hodlers, right? And Thanu T from the OG Vault family in the house was of all. Good morning, and OG Vault fam also very welcome here, of course. Now the story is obvious, is still obvious and relatively clear. When we're looking at global M2 expansion, we do have basically mimicking every sideways backtest. So this would tell us, hey, we go a little bit higher and then sideways backtest again for Bitcoin. The trajectory here is clear. For that, I mean, you can basically look up tons of different charts. If you just go here on Twitter and you put in global M2, you will see like every post regarding this stuff. So everyone has a little bit, and this is where you need to be careful. It shows you the direction, but everyone has a little bit of their own interpretation, right? Here, this guy, for example, if you look at that M2, at 118,000, it says you top out at 146k in September, right? So the base data is very complex for global M2, so we need to be careful here. Hey, Green Lantern, also good to see you. Welcome back, PH. Yeah, I'm going to go maybe 1 or 2 minutes into holiday stuff or so, but let's check this out first. Or here, right? What's next is obvious. Yes, it's obvious to go up, but look, this also a chart for 146k or so. Not as exaggerated as the other one, so it's 170, 180k. We will see, right? I mean, this one was before the pump, so it's a little bit older, but it's interesting to see. So the data set for these charts is, now you can also do it with Ethereum, right? And then interpret whatever Wyckoff accumulation. But we did see a fat drop off here in global M2 on most of the data, right? So you have this and then boom, right? It's still a higher low, and probably people will get excited when they see a higher high again on global M2, but we need to be very careful because a lot of people are looking at M2. Let's say you see a top formation on M2, what would you do as a trader? You would already sell when the price is here. You don't wait until it's going here, right? Because you saw the top already. So that might, let's say, throw the accumulation, throw the correlation out of balance, so to say, right? This correlation here. If you let's just say not enough people are looking at that, then maybe it still works out, but more and more people are looking at that. Let's see how long this model holds, right? So this is from this. You see some are from April 16th. Let's look back at this, right? April 16th global M2 prediction. Many people did not believe in that coming up when Bitcoin was somewhere at 70, 80k. But the trajectory was relatively clear. Then we could only look until today, basically, and that's where we are today, right? 120,000. So this prediction was actually very, very on point, right? Yes, a rare hodler for a quite long time now. Yes, you are. I always forget to name you because your name is gray because you're not locked in with the account that you have subscribed with. That's a little bit complicated, but I will try to remember. Of course, I remember that when you told me that. I think you are you must be around more than a year already. Anyways. That is it, just to look at global M2 a little bit. Then we have Benjamin Cohen come out here and saying that actually the setup is always the same, right? Throughout the bull, bear cycles and so on. You have an up in July, August. You have a September pullback. You have a market cycle top right after that, and then a bear market up in August, September pullback, and so on, right? So every cycle the same thing. And the September pullback is not the deep, steep pullback, like the super deep pullback. It's just a pullback, like a normal pullback. You have that all the time. Let's see if we have a bigger pullback in September, and then the market cycle top, right? According to the 500-day rule, the market is already, or the Bitcoin run is already over on 2nd of September. So let's see how this works out. So what is he saying? We basically have this up in July, and then a market September pullback, another pullback, and then the rush to our top, and then the bear market. Let's see if this happens like that. According to people, we are in phase 2. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks about the flippening. Actually, when I was on holidays, I met one guy, and that guy was Ethereum. He did like Ethereum, or he buys Ethereum, and he thinks that Ethereum will do well over the long run. And that guy was the only guy that I heard in the last 4 years of still talking about that Ethereum might flip Bitcoin at some point. So it's there, it's still there, this sign. So I would say, that even like that makes me super bullish, because that means we are in phase 2. But what's more evident is this, right? This is the Ethereum against BTC chart, and if you see here, right, we are since 21st of April outperforming Bitcoin on Ethereum. So since then, basically, it's worth more being in Ethereum than being in Bitcoin for a short time. The expectation is that we outperform quite some time. The more we outperform, the more people will be looking at altcoins, as Ethereum will be doing well in dollar terms. People will again look for what's next, right? So here we had this drawn in. We've marked this bull cross here, right? Now we are clearly broken out on Ethereum. And even if you take like other wicks or whatever as a benchmark, but we've clearly seen the breakout here. We've clearly seen a retest here. This is a weekly, right? We had 1 week of backtest. We've covered this also here, and basically now we are on our way. Here's the breakout, so we are on our way to roughly 7K, which would be our target, right? I'm going to tell you already, I'm going to throw away my Ethereum stack a little bit before that. And if it goes to 10K, so be it, I don't care. But I'm looking for 6K-ish to exit my position, just to be fully transparent here. Because I think that there is massive amounts of money necessary to even double Ethereum from where we were at 3,000 or so to 6K. That's massive. I think it can happen. There are Ethereum ETFs and so on. But the more important thing is that this is where everyone said, I'm not sure if altcoin season comes, but if Ethereum breaks out here significantly and goes to new all-time highs and so on, we will see that probably there is coming massive resistance coming in at 4.8. Then, basically then is altcoin season, right? And we see that in the TOTAL2 setup right now, which is Ethereum plus all other altcoins. Right now, all altcoins are bleeding towards Ethereum, so this moves slower. We see though that we are approaching all-time highs on the TOTAL2. We are observing a cup and handle since quite some time here. And I think that we just need this. We don't need much out of Ethereum alone to close this, to fully close this, to break out and then retest. I think this is next. We will encounter some more resistance here probably, but then we break out and retest, and then we fly on the TOTAL2 meaning Ethereum flies, altcoin goes with it, whereas the TOTAL3, and that is for you to check out, right? The TOTAL3 forms the same pattern but is a little bit behind, as you can see here. Nice tests on the trend line, but also will encounter all-time high very soon. This is without Ethereum, so we are looking very good here. And then we have the others chart to look at for the rest of the alts, and here we have a little bit of here you can clearly see the massive gap that is still to close for all other altcoins, and that is also reflected at others dominance, which is basically how the other altcoins are behaving against the rest of the market, and that is excluding the top 10 and so on. We do see that we don't really have this great standing here since we fell out of this multi-year channel. But I think that still small caps altcoins, they still will have a run. Maybe not all of them, maybe some will be wrecked, right? But many of them will have a run. Even the wrecked ones will probably double or something like that still, because there's always money thrown at something that hasn't moved yet to see if it's still alive, like this meme with a stick, do something. I think that is very, very much the thing that we should be looking at. But TOTAL2 so far, the one, so basically confirming this one here, saying, okay, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. Let's see. how long it takes for the money to start trickle into the large caps so that we really see outperformance there. Not quite sure if we are there. It's more that I'm looking for another push out of Bitcoin, see if even Ethereum dominance pulls back a little bit. Maybe then we are still in this overlap, but I think we are actually in phase 2. I think that's very accurate. I saw this little bit bullishness that is coming in news-wise, so to say. So we see here President Trump officially signs executive order opening the 12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto investments. This is insane, right? Because only a small fraction of this would bring massive pumps to the market. SEC and Ripple XRP officially end the legal battle following joint dismissal of appeals. So this is great for altcoins. Massive news for altcoins in general when XRP won, basically. President Trump officially signs executive order to stop banking discrimination against crypto, religion, politics. Canada loses 40,800 jobs in July, largest monthly declines, COVID. RIP Canada, so to say. Not good. Something needs to happen, right? If that's the largest pullback since then in jobs. Harvard buys $116 million worth of BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF. That is also good, right? Or at least, let's say, good for Harvard. Crypto czar David Sachs says the executive orders President Trump signed this week will give 90 million Americans access to crypto. 82% of S&P 500 companies beat quarterly earnings estimate despite President Trump's tariffs. Also interesting. SEC declares crypto liquid staking activities are not considered securities. This is massive news because this might open up the way to other financial instruments such as ETFs that consider staking. We remember that the SEC demanded for all the ETH ETFs to remove the staking parts. Dubai officially approves first crypto option license. Okay, fine. ETH surpassed 4,300 for the first time since 2021. That might be our signal for the altcoin season. So this news rundown is extremely bullish, and so is the markets. If we were to look at, for example, the S&P 500, SPX being the ticker here, we clearly see that we have broken out and retested somehow. Back to new highs, new rally. So S&P 500 is there. The same we will see very likely from the Nasdaq. Yeah, already at basically at the verge of new all-time highs. Also here we have our breakout. So it seems that we are going also on the traditional markets vertical now. Let's see how the expectation, let's say, of rate cuts can help here. But it seems that rates will be finally coming down in the US. That's probably also good for people in general rolling over their debt into less, let's say, less aggressive interest rates. And that means that they will feel more comfortable to spend. And if they feel more comfortable to spend, that's good for the economy. And that's good for crypto, because then they are also willing, instead of putting $0 into crypto, they are going to put maybe $50 into crypto. And if 90 million Americans have suddenly $50 or $100 to put into crypto, that's good. So yeah, and then we have very right what Sergio Angel is saying here is that we do have, what was that? I think it was BTC1. We do have actually no wait a second. Yeah, we did close our CME gap here, so this one's closed for Bitcoin. We do have a small one open again here, so we might come back to this level eventually. A very tiny one here, but nonetheless it's one at 118,000. So we might see a pullback to that level again, as we are have the tendency now to pump on the weekends. Although in this last phase of the bull market, these might stay open until the bear market, right? So like this CME gap down here at 92,000, we might see this only being closed during the next bear market, right? So as long as these are open, or as long as this is open, we might expect the sub 92,000 prices in the next bear market, right? No matter where this goes now. Also no guarantees, but this is where I'm speculating on. I expect lower prices than that anyways. But let's see. Good call here on the CME gap in general. Actually, I have no idea how if there is let's see, ETH. Is this also ETH1? Yeah, Ether futures. Yeah, massive CME gap. Although there are several open, we do have one here, right? So I don't know how good these what's the reason for CME gaps, right? We don't really know, to be honest, right? I mean, it seems to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Someone has discovered these always fill, or like high likelihood to fill. Everyone trades towards them, so they fill, right? That would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But other than that, yeah, basically on the ETH futures, that would be the CME gaps at 2,888. That might be something to close for the next bear market. And 4,188 or so, yeah, closed actually at 4,100. That is something that can be done with a small pullback, right? But this one here, that would be catastrophic if that closes. We will see probably something to close in the next bear market. So CME gaps is, I mean, we see they close, right? Here was one open from the bear market. And it did only close here now, right? So you see basically this one was open for a long time. And then we had them open on this downward trend, and boom, now we close all of the CME gaps on our upward trend. The same can happen for the next bear market. So ETH might come back to 2,800 in our next bear market, but right now, yeah, we have the situation. But good call to look at CME gaps. I really like that. Now, looking at some of our altcoins in the Altcoin Spotlight, let's look at VeChain first, as it is. That's not ours. Is that our standard chart? I have no idea. Anyways, it doesn't really matter because we have this fat trading, or this fat zone in which we are moving, and we have our fat support down here, which is basically the bull market support. VeChain has put in a higher low here, which is good, but the overall performance of VeChain, let's say from the absolute bottom to here, is only 42% yet. So we are waiting for this altcoin push to happen for VeChain to really pump, right? We have seen already this push up here. We have even seen 7 cents here in December, right? So we are expecting for this to be taken out, right? Yeah, here are the targets for VeChain. 8 cents are it's sub 20, slightly sub 20, and 45 apps for the absolute moon boys. I don't know, VeChain $1 is around since I'm in crypto, so yeah, I don't think it will happen, to be honest. But since there are people out there that call for VeChain $20, who am I to say? I'm just saying that I don't believe in that. I think that VeChain is forming a nice base here, has formed a double bottom, go up here, close it maybe, and then pump, right, with the other altcoins. So I don't expect VeChain to do anything out of the ordinary there. Let's look at MCAD also. MCAD has really nicely broken out of this, let's say, falling channel. Perfect retest, and it's go time, in my opinion, to move up to 0.049, which is the resistance before the absolute vertical pump. We have our predictions from January. I said 1 billion is absolutely possible in market cap, and right now we are, I think, at around 50 million or so. And MCAD Vibes said back then 5 billion plus, I'm telling you. So we are still seeing if and when and how that happens, but excited we are. 130% still to go until we even consider this breakout target. Sleepin' Comics in the house. What is going on? Good to see you as well. How's the comic collection going? I'm still sitting on my fat VeVe comic collection. Nothing has changed there. I actually came back from the holidays now and looked at that there's another challenge going on, and I was like, hey, could I participate in that challenge? And then I opened the leaderboard and saw people with like 3,000 points. So no, I think that ship has sailed. But maybe the next one. Still here at Crypto Morning Coffee. Let's see. Let's look at Ecomi, and hopefully we see something good, because we haven't looked at it in a while. Or we are going to start the week depressed. Who knows? There we go. It's not the best. I mean, there's still some volume coming in on Gate.io, and we are back at 0002. So but we have also put in a new low here in end of July. Cycle low, right? Not all-time low. We have been seeing way lower prices. Yeah, and so for Ecomi, that is that. I saw this post from VeVe Viral saying, breaking news, evidently Robinhood app offers a wallet and OMI is available for trading there. It's too easy to buy OMI nowadays. I don't think it's too easy, to be honest. I really want to say it's not too easy. We need way more options where people can buy Ecomi, and then obviously the big fat let's say influencer shill for that to turn around and go into a pump again, right? It's not you don't need necessarily Logan Paul or something like that to shill OMI, but you need people to talk positively about VeVe and OMI, and then you will have everyone back in the game again. I am at the very bottom of the challenge. I am not sure I will hold on. Wow. Okay, so you are in the top 250, so to say. That is good. Let's also check out quickly VeVe, because we haven't, because of the holidays, right? We haven't looked at it so much. So we have the VeVe Fantastic Four banner up here. Some art collectibles coming out, it seems. Fantastic Four comics. We have another Assassin's Creed promo, which is good. So this is the Felix. This seems to be some art drop, which I don't know about. Oh, there is another Coca-Cola. Rediscover the classics with Coca-Cola vintage bottles, interactive digital collectible. Celebrate the timeless evolution of an icon. Interesting, right? Because many VeVe haters always claim that brands are walking away and so on. we see here Coca-Cola is around since the last bull run, and from time to time there are Coca-Cola drops coming out. These bottles are actually cool, right? So that these are the absolute classic, like the oldest Coca-Cola bottles. Awesome. Then affiliate program is leveling up. Apply to join the affiliate program now as official partner and help expand the fandom. So this is for influencer marketing. I actually don't want to do that because I'm talking about VeVe anyways. Or I think let's see. Before I want to read what it's all about, but I'm talking about VeVe anyways. Let's see what I can get from that. But somehow not being affiliated with anything always allows me to be maximum, in my opinion, right? Still, there will be a lot of haters that would say that I'm a VeVe moonboy or something like that. But I like to think of myself as more neutral on that, and let's say not unbiased, but that I can criticize whenever I want, right? Because I'm not dependent on anything. That's basically it. Oh, Steve, oh, the Devo, what is going on? Yeah, Coke bottles look cool, that is true. Complete the set. You can, oh, this is that animated? That looks pretty good. It's interesting, right? So we've criticized VeVe a while ago for not being able to make faces, but it seems that now the faces are really looking better, right? I mean, look at this. Not too bad, right? I mean, look back at Lenectra and everything that had a face, like, or the old Thor statue. This looks way better, right? This face. Yeah. And also, like, these videos, like, this is what gets people going, right? I think this really, like, these animations are really good. I mean, this has already dropped, as I see, but I've missed that drop. But probably I can get them on the aftermarket or something like that, or maybe it didn't sell out. Plus another comic that came out as well, or that is coming out on Thursday, 14th of August. So I can still go for that. It's a perfect comic. It's exactly the more classic style with VeVe exclusive covers and white panel secret rare. So that's definitely something that I want to go for. So why not? Maybe we'd even do a drop stream if I am not bound at work. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, that is it for the VeVe stuff here. But guys, if you enjoy this, make sure to smash up the like button. A little bit shorter stream today. Unfortunately, I have to sort out some things after the holidays still, but we're back. We're back with new content, live, video, whatever, right? So let's make the best of this last phase of the market. Let's see that we end up in profits, build our cash pile for the next market already, and yeah, let's win this thing, right? So guys, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I catch you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one, everyone, and bye.